This is what I want.
I don't want money. I want you to teach me. I'm in your hands.
You can't be serious.
Larry,
Lawrence.
all my life I wanted to be the best at something, and I thought I was the best till I met you. I mean, I never realized how far you could go with this scamming thing. You've opened my eyes.
Freddie, this scamming thing, as you put it, took me years to perfect.
I got time.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is a 1988 comedy film directed by Frank Oz that was a remake of a 1964 comedy film. Lawrence Jameson, played by Michael Caine, is a sophisticated and wealthy British con artist living and operating in the town of Beaumont-sur-Mer on the Mediterranean coastline of the French Riviera. He is a master at conning wealthy women out of their money.
Your Highness. Your Highness, don't be alarmed. I can be trusted.
Are you one of my subjects?
No, I'm an American, Fanny Eubanks of Omaha. I couldn't help overhearing. If you're in trouble and there's some way I can help.
Thank you. But I cannot accept. You've already risked too much just in speaking to me.
I still want to help.
You must understand, I have powerful enemies. They may be watching even as we... My God, you're attractive.
Please, Your Highness.
Fanny, the freedom fighters, thank you.
Returning from a trip to Zurich, he encounters an American hustler named Freddie Benson, played by Steve Martin.
I think I'll just have some water.
Water?
Yes.
Only water? But you seem so hungry.
I'm saving my money for something special. My mother.
Your mother?
Well, she's not really my mother, actually. She's my grandmother. But she's been quite ill lately, and the hospital bills have been adding up. I just want to do my share. She is the one who taught me it is better to be truthful and good than to not.
Give this man whatever he wants.
Oh, I can't let you buy me a meal.
Nonsense.
I'll have a double turkey sandwich on white, a side order of fries, one of those large knockwares, 3 bags of potato chips, a chocolate milk, and 2 beers. Why don't you have a beer? 3 beers. Thank you.
When Freddie realizes that Lawrence is also a con man, he blackmails him into training him to be as seasoned in the art of con as he is, hoping to one day achieve the wealth that Lawrence has amassed.
All right, I'll do it. I'll teach you, I'll set you up, and I'll pay you a percentage.
Great!
But with this one understanding. I run this operation, and you do as I say.
Great!
Classes begin after lunch.
While teaching Freddie his ways of deception, the two develop a con where Freddie poses as Lawrence's trident-wielding, mentally disabled brother Ruprecht.
Ruprecht! Ruprecht! We have a guest. What do we do for guests? What did we do when Uncle Ted was here? No, Ruprecht. Ruprecht, no. After that. We apologize.
After Lawrence refuses to pay him for his services, Freddie quits, but before leaving, the two agree to one more bet. The first to con a woman out of $50,000 wins, and the other one has to leave town. They choose a new arrival, American tourist and the United States soap queen Janet Colgate, played by Glenne Headly.
She's a little young, isn't she?
Out of your league?
All right, I'll make it easy for you. $50,000.
$50,000?
Out of your league.
All right. I could use $50,000. First one to get $50,000 out of her.
May the best man win.
Thank you.
Lawrence attempts his usual con, while Freddie tries posing as a U.S. Navy veteran with a case of psychosomatic paraplegia.
What happened?
Well, I was engaged to a girl back in the States. And we loved to dance. We wanted to be professionals. Isn't that silly? And we got an opportunity to perform on TV on Dance USA.
Oh, great.
And in the excitement, we got separated. And there they were. Naked. Dancing. And then they stopped. And they made love. Right there on the dance floor. In the morning, I woke up. And my legs were useless.
Well, surely someone can help you.
There's this psychiatrist, Dr. Emil Schaffhausen of the Schaffhausen Clinic in Liechtenstein.
Why don't you go to him?
He gets astronomical fees. It's just not something I can handle.
Well, what do you mean by astronomical?
$50,000.
Lawrence then takes on the identity of a fictional doctor named Emil Schaffhausen, who torments Freddie under the guise of treatment.
Any feelings there? No?
Once he finds out that Janet actually won the money that Lawrence is about to con her out of, he decides to forego the bet. Freddie counteroffers with a new bet. The first guy who seduces the attractive Janet wins.
I'm still afraid!
Oh, don't be afraid. Don't you want to kiss me?
Yeah!
If you come over here, I will prove that I love you.
You'll prove it?
Come on. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Take a step. That's it.
I made it!
Yes, Freddie, you made it.
And all because of your love.
Our love, Freddie. We all love you. It's moments like this that make being a doctor worthwhile.
This movie was filmed on the French Riviera from June to August of 1988. It is a remake of the 1964 film Bedtime Story, starring Marlon Brando, David Niven, and Shirley Jones. It was originally considered to be a project for musicians Mick Jagger and David Bowie. After the success of their Dancing in the Street video in 1985, studio bosses were eager to put them in a movie together. During development, Jagger and Bowie dropped out of the project, and Steve Martin and Michael Caine were brought in as replacements. This movie was known as King of the Mountain and Dirty Rotten Criminals during its early stages. Rowan Atkinson, Richard Dreyfuss, Eric Idle, Dudley Moore, Leslie Nielsen, Michael Palin, and Gene Wilder were all considered for the role of Lawrence Jameson. John Cleese declined the role of Jameson and later stated in a 2008 interview that he regretted passing on this movie. Eddie Murphy passed on the role of Freddie Benson. Steve Martin and Michael Caine frequently ad-libbed throughout the movie. Michael Caine has described Dirty Rotten Scoundrels as the funniest film he ever made.
Not mother?
No, Ruprecht. She's not our mother. Go on, Diana. You were saying?
Well, I think that the...
Ruprecht! May I take your trident, sir?
Yes.
Michael Caine was 55 years old and Steve Martin was 42 years old when the movie was shot. In order to make them appear roughly the same age, director Frank Oz had Michael Caine made up quite heavily with the old Hollywood trick of facial skin tightening to make both men appear in the 45 to 50-year-old range. Glenne Headly was named Most Promising New Actress and won an award at the Chicago Film Critics Association Awards in 1989. The studio held test screenings of this movie in early October 1988. One for a blue-collar audience and one for a more affluent audience. Both audiences gave the film very high marks. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was released into movie theaters on December 14th, 1988, and grossed a worldwide total of $42 million, making it a substantial hit. I saw this film around the late 1990s, and I thought it was hilarious. Although, if memory serves, I recall my mother not being a fan of this film. It's possible that she didn't like Glenne Headly, as my mother was never a fan of Melanie Griffith either, who also had kind of that high girly voice. Perhaps I'm reading too much into it. It also doesn't matter how many times I see this. The character of Steve Martin playing Ruprecht, the disabled brother, is hysterical. He's got a cork on his fork.
Ruprecht, eat your applesauce.
I highly recommend the 1988 comedy film Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.